Well, good Monday morning and welcome into the Real Monica Adams Show. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. It is definitely a shift in temperatures. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. Might want to grab that umbrella. It was wet overnight. Grab a towel because as you put the dogs out to go to the bathroom, they are going to be a little wet, or at least their paws will. So just a heads up to that. We'll find out if this rain pattern will continue. I think all your plants and your grass are definitely saying thank you because we were in a drought. So when is fall, by the way? We've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks. Well, it is officially today. So as you are going to your closet, I went ahead inside. I'm going to wear fall-like colors. I even put the boots on today. I was so ready for that transition. It is officially at 1:19 Central Time this afternoon. The autumnal equinox is what we call it. So yes, today, this afternoon, the first official day of fall. So we're going to talk about the weather. We've got some news you can use. Tell me how many of you had a chance to watch the memorial yesterday. 200,000 people is what they're estimating showed up for the memorial. Obviously, not all of those could fit into the stadium, but the overflow crowd right outside of the stadium. What stood out for you? And I know people, again, are divided on all of this. I posted last night. There was hate thrown at me. That's fine. That's the beauty of the delete button and the beauty of the block button. All I was there for was to listen to Erica Kirk, and she might be the strongest woman I've ever heard speak in my life. That's what I'm going to say. So chills and tears and a standing ovation. That's exactly what I said. We'll talk a little bit about that and do a recap for you. We've got some local news. We'll get into sports and then our show for today. Toxins. What are they doing to our body, especially for our women that are dealing with perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause? We will talk about all that with Jenny Gabriel, our guest from JG Optimal Wellness. So get your questions and your comments ready to drop in this morning. All right, let's get to it. As we kick things off on this first official day of fall, it's a segment we call What the Weather.
Good evening from St. Louis, Missouri, and it is a beautiful one.
By the way, brought to you by GradeWorks LLC. And I know Mike and his team are getting busier and busier, and I just love to hear that. If you're not familiar with GradeWorks, they can do excavating work for you, grading work. They can do removal from your property, whether that's personal or professional. So again, why do that on your own when he and his team can do that for you? He's been working on his truck overnight on the highways, doing asphalt work, etc. GradeWorksMO.com. That's the website I want you to remember. WRXMO.com. And Mike, we can't thank you enough for being a part of the show and sponsoring our incredible Beckett Moore. Let's say good morning to him this morning. Happy fall, Beckett.
Yeah, happy first day of fall, for sure.
We are definitely looking forward to this. I got out the fall colors today. I might be a little warm. We'll see. So it was raining as well. Do we need the umbrella for today?
There could be a couple isolated showers around the area, but mostly it's just going to be cloudy conditions here.
Okay, well, good. Well, but as I mentioned, the flowers, those that are still around, and the grass definitely needed that. I know you said on Friday you were just going to relax. Did you do anything fun?
Went golfing and watched a little football. It was very nice.
Yeah, football, definitely. This is definitely football weather. Well, I know Oktoberfest in St. Charles is coming up next weekend, so making plans already, even though we're just kicking off the week, but we always go, it's Monday. Okay, what's happening next weekend? So we're going to look into what it looks like heading into the weekend, but also for this first official day of fall. Will it feel like that? Let's see. Becca, take it away.
Yeah, so this morning got a temperature of around 67, dew point at 65, so it is very humid out there, and if you can see through the arch camera, we are seeing some fog downtown right now, 8-mile-per-hour winds and those overcast skies this morning. Then as we head into this afternoon, 79 as our high, a mix of clouds and sunshine, and we could see a couple isolated showers throughout the day today. Lastly, our 7-day forecast again today, high of 79, that first day of fall. 68 as our low tonight. Now our rain chances do start to ramp up as we head into tomorrow with a 50% chance of showers and a high of 80. Then by Wednesday, dropping down into the 70s, really getting into those fall conditions, 80% chance of rain and a 40% chance of rain. By Thursday, that rain does get out of here, although we do need it. That will likely wipe out our drought conditions by Friday, and then those sunny conditions into the weekend with highs around 80.
Wow, next weekend looks absolutely amazing. As I said, there's a ton of events. The big one probably St. Charles Oktoberfest. So look at your event calendar, maybe on your Facebook page. Well, thank you, Beckett. I hope you have a great first day of fall at school today.
You too.
All right, that's Beckett Moore, our aspiring meteorologist. Again, he gives us the forecast Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to follow him on X and on YouTube. Well, this was alluded to yesterday during the memorial for Charlie Kirk, a very big day from a medical standpoint. In fact, President Trump says this may be the greatest press conference that he has ever been involved with. And this has to do with parents who have autistic children. Now, what we are hearing very early on is that the administration might be linking Tylenol use to the risk of autism. That is the latest news right now. We'll know more this afternoon. He's expected to make a historic announcement at the White House. It's autism obviously related to medical findings concerning children. This is part of an ongoing pledge to address rising autism rates. And during the memorial yesterday, President Trump said, if you look back 20 years ago, it was 1 in 10,000 children that were diagnosed. Now, these are startling numbers. For boys, it's 1 in 12, and for girls, it's 1 in 20. So we're talking about 1 in every about 31 or 32 children being diagnosed in autism. Why? So much more on that later this afternoon. Again, that is a press conference that will take place. I'm very interested to see what the findings are, and if there's more than obviously just the Tylenol risk. We mentioned the memorial. How many of you had a chance to watch it? Did you watch all of it? I saw probably about 2 hours of it, and what I was there for was to listen to this woman, Erica Kirk. As I mentioned, most likely one of the strongest women I've ever heard speak. Erica publicly forgave the man accused of his shooting during the service, and that sent chills up my spine. How about all of you? Tears as well as she looked to heaven. The contrast between her tone of forgiveness and the political intensity of other speeches has drawn wide attention. At that large memorial service, as I mentioned in the beginning, in Arizona, about 200,000 people, they're saying, President Trump called activist Charlie Kirk a martyr for America's freedom. The event, intended as a tribute, took on strong political overtones. Trump's remarks included criticisms of political opponents. There was a pronounced MAGA conservative activist tone, somebody was saying. Hundreds of thousands attended, though, and the event has stirred debate about political polarization as well as rhetoric. And again, there are many people that posted about this yesterday, talked about whether it was the singing, whether it was the people who had a chance to speak, or the crowds that were inside and outside of the stadium. For me, the overall message was faith, and that is what I posted about. And again, that's the thing that we need to carry forward, because otherwise we are in for quite a fight in a very divided world. But I'm hoping that our faith stands out stronger than ever. Speaking of which, if you pray, and I hope that you do, and if not, it's okay, prayers are expected today at 9 o'clock our time for this young boy. I'm not sure if you saw this on social media, but it's today at 9 a.m. that they're requesting prayers for Thomas. And they said maybe if a whole bunch of us combine all our love and our energy once, we can send some positivity to our superhero. Share that with your followers, with your family, with your friends, asking them, as I did, for prayers today. All faiths are welcome, all prayers, all good intentions and energies. If you could tag and see this, it's Super Thomas versus Leukemia. If you look for that on Facebook, you can share that. And just, again, if we have all over our pages on social media asking for prayers, asking for kindness for this young boy, well, that's how we come back together. So I wanted to pass that along. Again, it's on my page, and I shared that, and so I'm asking for you to do so as well. Coming up in just a couple of hours, praying all over the nation for Thomas. Okay, we always want to give you follow-up stories. So we were talking last week about Boeing and the union putting to their workers about what they were asking for them to accept before they gave it to Boeing. Well, the IAM Union District 837 members did ratify a union proposed settlement offer to end the strike. According to the union, the proposal was a 4-year contract. It's an offer that aligns 401k contribution percentages with Boeing employees around the country, more fairly raised wages for top-of-scale members, includes a compromise on the ratification bonus that approaches the level Boeing provided for the union members. The proposal will now be submitted to Boeing as a pre-ratified agreement. If the company accepts the agreement, the strike would then end. However, Boeing came back and said not the nicest things when they got that. In fact, Boeing's comment was, our previous offer is real and would make our team among the highest paid manufacturing employees in the St. Louis area. So we'll see what happens with that. Again, this has been going on for weeks. Really, actually, we say a couple of months. There is a recall, by the way. If you have a Toyota or a Hyundai, pay attention to this. They are recalling more than 1.1 million vehicles for seatbelt panel display problems as well. They're recalling almost 600,000 automobiles because the instrument panel display can fail and not show the driver's critical information, including speed, brake system, tire pressure warning lights, which could lead to a crash and to injuries. So between the two, Toyota and Hyundai, they're recalling again a combined 1.1 million vehicles. The models include the 2023-2024 Venza, the RAV4 Prime, the RAV4, the GR Corolla, the Crown, the 2024 through 25 Lexus TX and LS, Toyota Tacoma and Grand Highlander, the 25 Lexus RX, Toyota Crown Signia, Camry, the RAV4 plug-in hybrid, and the 4Runner. So dealers will be updating the instrument panel software. Owners may contact Hyundai customer service or Toyota. Again, you should always get a notification if your vehicle is involved in a recall, but this one, again, trying to put that out there for you to prevent any future crashes and any issues that may pop up. All right, in sports, did you watch the Chiefs game yesterday? We've got good news if you're a football fan and if you're a Kansas City fan. The Chiefs beat the Giants 22-9. It's the Ravens and the Chiefs coming up this weekend on Sunday. They will be in Kansas City at 3:25. And I know ever since the Rams left, a lot of you have hopped on to follow the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, the Cardinals, they wrapped up their final game at home yesterday. It was the Cards beating the Brewers 5-1. Now they go to San Francisco. They're in action against the Giants tonight at 8:45. They've got a few games with them, and then they wrap up the entire season in Chicago against the Cubs this weekend. It's usually a big series that people like to travel to Chicago for, but not sure. I know Busch Stadium has been empty, about 6,000 to 7,000. That's all that's been in that stadium. It's so hard to watch as they wrap up the season. All right, National Day of Calendar. What's on tap? National Brown Butter Day, National States and Capitals Day, National Online Recovery Day. It's National Family Day. Oh boy, I love that. Let's get back to the dinner table. National Girls Night, all right? National White Chocolate Day and National Centenarians Day. And in fact, I have to thank a lady who reached out to me and told me that her mom was turning 100 and she wanted to get some, kind of get her on our news you can use. And I said, well, how about we do one better? Let's bring her in for a generational talk. So we're going to bring a 100-year-old lady in for a future generational talk in October, which I cannot wait for. And just another real quick thing for you, if you are a St. Louis City SC fan, it is San Jose and St. Louis this past weekend, and St. Louis actually won. The final score was 3-1. So congratulations to them. They're back in action against LAFC coming up this weekend. And Mizzou, did you watch Mizzou? They won as well. Mizzou beating South Carolina 29-20. They're still at home. They've got this big home stretch. UMass and Missouri this coming Saturday. That game is at 6:30. All right, that's how we do it. We get you all wrapped up with everything that we think you might want to know about before 7:15 in the morning. And then we get into our powerful topics and subjects of the day. Today, we're focusing on the toxins that are out there. Well, a lot of times we hear about them in our food, but how is it affecting you if you are in the perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause state? Jenny Gabriel's become a fan favorite. We are looking forward to your comments, your questions, your aha moments. Jenny Gabriel with JG Optimal Wellness. She joins us next. Welcome to the mobile Monica version of the Real Monica Adams Show at my favorite restaurant. There's something about a car and welcoming.
Gives you that sense of community.
What are you most proud of since you've opened it?
I cry easily. I'm thankful for everybody here.
You opened the door during the middle of the pandemic. You got the best Italian restaurant in the United States. Here in St. Louis, you put us on the map. Does it scare you? Go through fear?
Terrifying.
So how do you get past the fear?
We find something to laugh about.
And welcome back again. Thanks for tuning in to the Real Monica Adams Show. And I hope you had a fantastic week and have a good start to your day. If not, let's change things around. In fact, let's educate you today. As hopefully you've seen over the last couple of months, this woman has been changing lives left and right. JG Optimal Wellness is her company. Jenny Gabriel, great to see you again. Look, we got our fall colors on.
This like sisterly like vibe. I don't know. We just know what each other's going to be doing.
Well, it's funny because we come in here and we're always thinking like, what color do we want to put behind her? And so obviously we can change it, but I picked them like, I don't know, let's have just like something that's really statement behind us and then we'll see what she's wearing. And when you walked in, I'm like, yes. Are you ready for fall?
Oh, I so am ready.
Yeah.
I love these temperatures. I love the fall temperatures.
Yep,
I love it.
I agree, but it's funny because my husband's like, yes, but before you know it, you're all going to be complaining about how cold it is. True. It was so hot. Now it's cold. Yes, I got out the fall clothes. I got the boots. I am so ready
I love
for
the
this.
boots. The boots are awesome.
Shout out to Claire Flowers, a local designer, by the way.
Love it.
Yep, thank you. So did you have a good weekend?
I did.
Yes?
Yeah.
Good?
We did.
Good. Anything fun you did or no?
You know, we were just around home.
Around home?
Yeah. For
Relaxing?
the most part. Yeah. Watching
Family?
the games, you know.
Yes. Football?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go Mizzou.
Exactly. Yeah, so you go to the games, don't you?
Oh, yeah. We love Mizzou. We love the Chiefs. We at the Ravens next week.
Yeah, look at her, Miss Football. All right, if you're not familiar with Jenny, let's put on the screen for you how you can find her, Jenny Gabriel. If you want to shoot her an email, it's jenny@jgoptimalwellness.com. You can go to JG Optimal Wellness to go to her website or follow her on social media at JG Optimal Wellness. And hopefully you've all been doing this because she offers up a free assessment call to you. She also has that Facebook page that she has told you to go into. So there's a couple of QR codes that you can scan here. Scan that one to book a free assessment call or scan this one again for that Menopause Belly Secrets page. And you've got over 1,000, 1,300 or so?
About 1,300 sitting in there.
And so I always, in the last couple of weeks since we've had you on, what are the comments and the questions? What is your community talking about that they're concerned with or that they're frustrated with that has to do with perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause?
I think in there, a lot of it has to do with whatever I'm talking about that week. Because each week I kind of theme what I'm going to talk about. So we've been talking a lot about sleep. We're in the middle of the sleep reset now. We're starting our second week of that together. And the questions are just mostly around, like, what do I do?
Yeah. Because they feel lost, right?
They feel lost. They don't know what to do. And then they just want the support. They want direction.
I'm so glad you have the page because that word right there, Jenny, support.
Oh, yeah.
So that they don't feel they're alone.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously you're not.
Yeah, 100%. Yes. Well, it was funny. The other day I was somewhere, not saying where, but anyway, in the gym. We'll just say I was in the gym and I overhear these ladies talking about menopause. Well, I'm here because this is supposed to stop my hot flashes.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, it's interesting where women are getting their content from.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we need to filter that. I think we talk a lot about that on the show. It's like there's so many.
There's so much social media.
So much social media, and people don't know. I mean, now there's so much information about it, they don't know how to decipher what's right for them.
Right. Well, and we've talked about myths before. And again, go back to some of these past shows because if you're just seeing Jenny for the first time, you've missed out on some really profound information that she has given each and every one of you to be able to deal with this. We've been talking about, so since you just started that program, last Monday?
Yeah, this is
how's it going
today? Oh, good. They're doing great.
Good.
I mean, they're seeing things. They're posting in. I've got a private chat area where they can chat with me in between live coaching calls. We do live coaching call for the next 3 Mondays, and the questions are great. They're implementing. We're doing little steps each day. So for 21 days, they get prompts to put into place to help them with navigating the sleep
And
process.
again, that's the biggest thing. I mean, I remember when I was in my 20s, I used to hear, and again, I was paying attention a little bit and then not paying attention. And it was, oh, yeah, well, if you're not sleeping properly, just think about all the problems that will be created.
Yeah.
You know, the hot flashes,
Yeah.
the brain fog. How are you able to operate throughout your day if you're not sleeping well?
Well, it's like root cause. Let's get to the root cause. And that's what's interesting in there is because like there's these light bulbs going off
Yeah.
all the time with the women. They're like, oh, guess what happened? I'm like, oh, yeah, see?
Well, and owning what part of it, because again, there's one thing about your body, but there's another thing of can you make those changes?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure
right.
that's what you're discussing with them.
And that's exactly what it is. It's like meeting them where they're at. Like, I'm going to give them 21 days of different prompts, but they also have a lot of other information they're getting from me.
Right.
And they have to choose what works in their life. I can give you all the tips and the tricks and the skills and the tools, but you have to find out of that what works really good for you.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm there is to help guide you, to help you choose that so that you're not feeling so overwhelmed.
Well, and today, I love what we're going to talk about today.
Oh,
And we've got
yes.
so
Great
many
topic.
slides that we're going to show you. It is a wonderful topic. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
it is.
During yesterday's memorial, when President Trump came out and said that he was going to have this press conference this
yes.
afternoon about autism, now
Yes.
immediately my mind went to, I wonder if they're going to announce, because Kennedy's a part of this press conference,
Right.
I wonder if they're going to announce food. Because
Yeah.
I look back in the beginning of my radio career, and I remember doctors, as soon as we turned the microphone off, they started talking about, well, a lot of it has to do with food, and we're seeing problems with a link with autism and ADD and ADHD. And I'm like, well, isn't that a wake-up call of what you're putting in your body?
Yeah.
So that's what I thought this was going to be. And I don't know. I mean, we
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
don't either.
I
I
know
don't-
they're talking
it'll
about
be-
Tylenol for women when they're pregnant, taking Tylenol. So that's what they're saying they're going to mention this afternoon. But I would be surprised if they don't also talk about food.
Oh, yeah.
Since
yeah.
there's this big push to get us
yeah,
healthier
especially
here.
with Kennedy.
Yes.
I mean, his whole push for cleaning up our food system.
But so it is. So it's what. So we talk a lot about toxins that are in the world and how it affects us, everyone. But this
Yeah.
now is tied in to the dirty truth about menopause, toxins, hormones, and your health. And the
Yeah.
toxins are everywhere, aren't they, Jenny?
Yeah, they are. And actually, I would like to cover 4 of them today, and we call them obesogens.
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 Okay.
And so something that I think people need to first realize is how we are becoming more of an insulin-resistant society. And when that happens, why that happens is the receptor sites are being plugged. So first off, we have neurotransmitters, which are hormones, and our neurotransmitters that are the neurochemicals that communicate, okay? They communicate, they kind of tell us what we need to be doing and how our body is receiving whatever's coming in, okay? So when we get overloaded, that blocks those receptor sites. So the toxin block the receptor sites. And what happens is the pancreas then starts pushing out all of this insulin. We're telling the body to push this insulin. Well, it's kind of like a traffic jam, right? So then everything gets blocked up, it gets blocked, and we can't get, the insulin cannot no longer get the glucose into the cell. That's a big deal. And I know this is a little sciencey right now, but I think we got to know where we're starting from and what's causing this when we add the toxins in.
Sure.
And so when we can't get that into the cell, that's when we're going to see weight gain. We're also going to see a lot of these disease things. And the same thing with toxins. When we have all these toxins coming in, we have nowhere to go. So they go into our tissue. The same way when the insulin's not able to get the glucose into the cell, there's too much insulin and glucose floating in the bloodstream. When that happens, it has nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go, right.
And so now we've become a disease state because we're pushing this into our tissue and it's not going where it needs to be.
Again, if you're just tuning in, this is a Medical Monday. So although she was just saying, oh, we're kind of getting scientific, but yes, but we
Yeah.
do on this show. So Jenny Gabriel, JG Optimal Wellness. So the toxic aspect, people are going to hear that and going,
Yeah.
well, wait, I want my body to operate properly. It's stuck. It doesn't know where to go.
Right.
Okay, so what can we do and what do we need to stay away from? So let's talk about some of the culprits. What would
Yeah.
you say are some of the biggest?
Well, I'm going to talk about PBA first, and I know that's gotten less, but I still want people to realize that plastics are one of the things we need to get out of our kitchen, get out, try to reduce. This is a great place, ladies, men even too, to get these types of things out of your environment. Just this is a great start. Just slowly start to change them out for glass. Okay, stop using the plastic bags. Okay, go to parchment paper instead of aluminum. These are little things that we can do. But the PBA is one of the biggest things, because now we're even seeing microplastics in our water, which we're going to get to that too today. But the number one obesogen is PBA. And I'm going to tell you about a study that was done in 1990. It was a Goody mouse study where they took 2 mice, and they both were given the same food, they were given the same calories, and they were given the same exercise plan. Okay? The only different was the one mouse was given water out of a plastic bottle.
That was it. That was the
That
only
was
difference.
the only difference.
And what did we see in that mouse?
What we see happen is the mouse gained weight, and its hair turned yellow.
Really?
And that was the first sign that we knew that there was chemical, that our bodies react to chemicals, okay? And so you think about that. You think about if we're consuming plastic, we all do this, we're out, we don't have our bottles with us or whatever. And I know they've changed some of that. Some of them are PBA free, but at the end of the day, you're still getting plastics in. The best way to not is to reduce your exposure to them.
So
right?
for those that are not aware or haven't been paying attention to the problems in your plastic bottles, what would you tell them? Because I will say I commend where our studios are. Somebody said one time, hey, do you have a bottle of water? They're like, we don't. We have reverse osmosis water.
I love that.
Yep.
Yes, or even those little Culligan, you'll see those a lot of times in gyms too now, where they can go up and they're not.
I love in the gyms because they show all the recycled, this many recycled bottles, right? They talk about this. This is what we're saving in again, if you're trying to go green, et cetera.
Yeah.
You pretty much don't find water bottles in gyms anymore. It's now the water fountain area, and you just fill up your bottles, carry your bottles around.
Right.
Glass bottles around.
Yeah, glass, definitely. The second obesogen I'm going to talk about, and you hear this a lot from RFK. He talks about the pesticides, what's being sprayed on all of our crops and things like that. And that's glyphosate, okay? And glyphosate is one of those things we want not to have in our system, our body. It's a toxin. It's something else that's just going to cause us to have more reaction. Our endocrine system's going to respond to that. We're going to gain weight. We're going to have, other related health issues. But just take a second here, Monica, and think about where you've been this weekend. You're probably out. Look at our society. Do you see obesity being a bigger issue?
Oh, it is. We just did in the news last week. We were addressing children, but it's now, if you look at our nation, children, it's now surpassed from a percentage standpoint that there are more obese children than there are healthy children for the first time ever. Yeah. It used to be close, but now we're 51% obese and 49%. Yeah. So instead of moving in the right direction, we are moving in the wrong direction.
Right. So this is one of those things that we need to work on getting removed, because when you're looking around and everybody's eating similar, okay, we're different bodies, we're differently made, right? I want to talk about root cause issue. That's what I do, root cause health. If we're all eating different things, but you're seeing this weight gain, it's coming from the foods we're eating. Right? So it's the chemicals that are being sprayed on them, or it's what we're eating them out of that's on top of that, right? Or the water we're drinking that's maybe not purified. We're just layering more and more chemicals in.
Well, you've talked before, again, if you're just tuning in, Jenny Gabriel, JG Optimal Wellness. We'll look at some comments and questions coming in also. But one of the things that we have talked about that adds to your problems with menopause is the processed foods. It is the food you're eating. It's the timing of when you're eating the food. It's the caffeine that you're taking in. It's the alcohol.
Yeah.
All of that.
All layers in.
But I know all of you are probably going, well, this is so frustrating. Why is it allowed in our food? Why is it allowed in products? Why is it allowed? We're going to talk about makeup. We're going to talk about
we are.
Hair products, cleaning products. Yes. All of that that's around us, right?
Yeah.
All right,
those are synthetics.
Synthetic. Well, okay, we'll go into that next. We'll take a quick break. Any comments, any questions, any aha moments, feel free to drop those in for us. More with Jenny Gabriel when we return.
was just on the Real Monica Adams show, and it was really a good experience for me. When I walked in, the building is just peaceful. The environment is beautiful here. Monica really made me feel welcome.
The Monica Adams show allows people to be themselves. It's really important to share kindness, to be real, to offer stories and things that will give people hope and a reason to smile.
Rather than waking up aggravated, disappointed, and wondering, where's this earth going, choose to wake up with something that'll put your mind and your heart in the right direction. Start with Monica.
And that's just one of our many platforms. I always ask you if there's a platform we're not on and you want us to look into expanding the 6 that we're on. But that's how you find us on YouTube at The Real Monica Adams. And we are getting real with you, and we're also helping you. That is what this is all about. Helping, healing. That's what this show is for. Jenny Gabriel and I are very like-minded on that for all of you women and men. And again, we've talked about in the past, you deal with andropause. We deal with perimenopause and menopause and postmenopause. But we're trying to get those symptoms to be less and less. And a lot of it is, what can you own? What do you have to shift, adjust in your life to make things better? So Jenny Gabriel, again, with JG Optimal Wellness. So we talked going into the break, again, about the toxins that are out there and some of the biggest culprits, right as we went into the break, you said one of the biggest ones that we want to transition to is, did you forget?
Yeah.
Dang it.
Are you talking about the PBA?
We did that.
Estrogens?
Yes.
We were talking about
Synthetics.
pesticides, synthetics.
Thank you.
Synthetics. So let's talk about phthalates. Phthalates are part of that.
Okay.
This is like, did you put perfume on this morning?
Yes, here we go. Here's the deal.
I just backed you right in the corner.
Yeah, but here's the deal. This is going to be hard for me to change.
But it is, right?
I am known for perfume. I literally have said that when I die, I want to be known for a lot of things, but one of the things I want you all to say is, gosh, you always smell great.
You do.
All right, what's
I agree.
the problem?
So here's the deal. That has phthalates in it. That is an endocrine disruptor. And this is just one of those things that can be changed, like going to something that's more essential oil based versus a synthetic spray, which like Skylar is a really good brand for that. They have lots of different varieties, something to tool around with. But here would be my probably challenge to someone that's very adverse to doing it.
Well, I'm not adverse to it. I'm looking for perfumes that maybe are made more natural.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So Skylar would be one that would be. Skylar.
Okay.
30 days, just try it. And if it doesn't work for you, then you just go back.
Well,
this is one of those things you trial.
What would I be noticing that's different?
Well, it's going to not be, you're not going to have the endocrine issues. You'll still have them if you're eating or having, you're exposed to it. But this is just one layer you can take away from that.
Okay.
Okay.
So if
It's just
someone's
like
having issues with their menopause symptoms.
this is one of the things that you can remove.
And
It's
that's a good
phthalate.
point, by the way, and I don't know that we've stressed this enough in the last several weeks, but when you're trying to figure out, even from an eating standpoint, right? Someone's like, I'm bloating. Am I gluten sensitive? Do I have celiac? Well, you have to do it one by one, pull things out one by one, right? It can't just be you throw them all back in together or do one at a time.
100%, because toxins play a part in that too.
Yeah.
So that can also be a symptom of toxicity too, where our liver is not being detoxed, our kidneys and our liver is not being detoxed properly, because that's a big deal with toxicity. And that's something we'll get into today is liver detoxification, kidney detoxification. Those things have to be properly detoxed, and that doesn't mean we're throwing pills and potions and we're not throwing detox teas and all this other malarkey that they're throwing out there that works. That's not it. We got to get to the root cause of why that's happening. Why are you having that response? If you're having hot flashes and stuff like that, that's usually your liver. Your liver's involved in that. You hear me talk about all these different things that can cause hot flashes, but your liver is not probably detoxing. It's been plugged by, like this whole receptor site thing I'm talking about. That's what happens. It just starts to clog and bog things down.
Right. And so, as Jenny just mentioned, there's a lot of things out there. We're also trying to save you money because there's this gimmick and that gimmick.
Yes.
Try this tea, try this detox.
Right. Yeah.
But it's a temporary
100%.
fix
Right.
for a long-term cause.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the other thing I want to talk about is PUFAs. Those are forever chemicals. We all know what those are. These are things like the water-resistant or the stain-resistant clothing, the cookware, what you're cooking in. Those are all going to fall into that same category. And, when we're cooking, we don't think about that Teflon coming off, right? But if you go home and check your pans and you're cooking in Teflon, which don't be changing them out, that's one of those things you can slowly change out to like more of a ceramic-based, even cast iron's good. But if someone has high ferritin levels, okay, that's probably not a good idea. All right. So
I'll put myself in a bubble.
Yeah. So my brother had high ferritin levels, right? And but he was cooking in cast iron on top, and I'm like, dude, you're gonna have to cut back on cooking in the cast iron for a little while until we get the ferritin levels figured out. So
Look, here's the deal. I know a lot of you are probably either you're just tuning in or you've been listening from the very beginning. You're like, well, wait a minute. I can't have this. I can't have that. It really does feel like we are living in a world of why in the world was any of this allowed in the first place?
Well, true. Very true.
Which
a convenience.
Yes.
Quick, fast, convenient.
We talk about this a lot for us and for animals because we just talked about how you shouldn't be putting your dog food in plastic.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing.
Right.
It's the same thing. So we're talking about, again, why menopause feels so hard. We talked about some hormone shifts, estrogen, progesterone, cortisol.
Yep. Estrogen being more dominant, especially with, xenoestrogens. That can cause estrogen dominance to be worse. Those are actually mimicking estrogen. They'll mimic hormones. And so it's really important that we realize these, ladies and gentlemen, both, all of you. It's not about changing everything at once. Just pick something that you want to change.
Right.
So say you come off of this call with us today or the show today, that I'm going to start changing things over from plastic to glass that I store my food in. Perfect.
Right.
That's one less toxicity you're exposing yourself to.
Right, and make these changes because then you're going to find the one that's the culprit for you. I mean, all of our bodies are different.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
I'm curious if have they done any studies on the piping that's run throughout our homes and businesses? Most are plastic or the new flex piping and no longer copper.
Yeah.
Have you seen any studies
I have
on
not
that?
seen anything on that, but I will look into that and see if I can dig something up on it. That's a great
point. Mel, thank you, by the way. I don't know if I've talked to you before.
A great point. And, that goes back to that filtration again, especially with our water. And I know not everybody can afford to do that, cannot put a reverse osmosis system in their house or a softener, whatever into the house. So my suggestion would be start small.
Yes.
Start with an under-counter one for the kitchen or just a picture.
Yeah.
This is great for your college kids, your kids that go off to school, because I'm telling you guys, if you want to know what's in your water, go to Environmental Working Group, the EWG.org, and you can actually put your zip code in there. You will be horrified because it will bring up your zip code and it will show you the chemicals that are being put into your water. And it will make you a true believer that you need to switch something.
What's the website again?
EWG.org.
EWG.org. Gabriel, if you can put that in there for you. EWG.org.
Yep.
Julia, you're welcome. She says, thank you so much for all the good information. Linda says, all I can say is read labels, folks. It's a real eye-opener when you get into it.
Yeah.
Bab says, this is one of my favorite shows.
Aww,
love it.
Yay.
Julie says, perfume, yuck.
Okay.
You just don't like perfume, period?
Okay.
Or are you saying that, holy cow, I can't believe I don't know. I don't know that one. Linda,
Clarify that one.
I had to get rid of my cast iron skillets. They were too seasoned with beef. That's my worst enemy right now. She is alpha, what is it?
Alpha gal.
Gal. I always
Okay.
say, is it guy or gal? Gal.
Okay, alpha gal.
Alpha gal, yeah. So we're talking about all the things.
Yeah.
Do you have hot flashes? Do you have weight gain? Do you have fatigue? Do you have brain fog? Again, stress, poor sleep compound that problem. So we're talking about the dirty truth, the everyday toxins that are mimic or blocking your hormones. If you're just tuning in, this is some kind of like a recap of some things you've missed. Overloading detox pathways, the liver, the gut, the skin. Let me ask this.
Yes.
For those that might not know what I'm talking about here, I'm sure she does. Are you a fan of liver dumps? From an energy standpoint?
You know,
Do you think they work?
I still feel like you need to get to the root cause.
Okay.
Like, why are you at that point? What's caused this to happen for you to have to do
Because
that?
otherwise they're just going to keep going through and doing those.
Right. It's like, okay, let's figure out why you're where you're at. And really, even with the liver, a lot of times I can tell you what happens there. It's from the environment. It's
Yes.
if you're on medications. All of that filters through the liver, guys. I mean, we've talked about that on the show before. Just that the liver is the major filtration system outside the kidneys in the body. And
Right.
everything passes through there. So if we're not loving that,
Right.
eat your beets.
Thank you. Can you say that to my husband one more time?
Jim, eat your beets.
Okay, he actually is open-minded to it now because we had something here. There was an event last week at Adventure Unknown, and he was like, what is this? And I'm like, just eat it. And he's like, okay. And I said, I know you have an aversion from when you were younger and you're eating cold beets. And someone turned and looked at him and like, no, try roasted. I said, see, I just need to make them for him again.
Or even pickled beets.
He's actually taking a beet supplement.
Yes.
So
a lot
if
of
somebody
people do
won't
that.
eat beets, you're okay with that?
Yeah, just watch the sugars and that. Sometimes I don't know if they're eating the chews or they're actually doing a powder, but just be really careful with that because sometimes it can be
Just pulling sugars in? Then
Yeah.
you got a little sugars and the
right.
process aspect
So
of that.
just be, there's good resources out there. Don't get me
Are
wrong.
you against the gummies, by the way? Any kind of gummies? Not well, you know what I'm talking about. Not gummies as in
Yeah, no, and it's about.
Yeah.
I prefer it to be either in a powder or a pill form because
I like
And I
gummies
know
because
more
I
what's
used to
behind
like
it.
gummy bears. I'm like,
well, don't we all?
give me a gummy supplement.
I know, right? But the problem with that is they just put
Don't
so
we
much
all?
stuff in them.
I know.
That's the filler. It's the stuff that's
No
not
fun.
good. Now, if you can find one for me that doesn't
Yes,
have all the
please.
junk in it, great.
Anybody
I'm
know?
good. I'm good. I'm good with that.
All right, we're talking about plastics, BPA, processed foods, and additives. And again,
Yeah,
the frustration,
additives for sure.
are-
100%. That's all going to be a part of that, and it's going to cause, we're talking about, ladies, we're talking about brain fog. We're talking about sluggish liver. We're talking about hot flashes. These are the symptoms you're going to have around this. You're
Right.
going to have bloating.
And
You'll
so
have a lot
I
of
guess
that.
what we have to do is be very, very aware if they are worse.
Yep.
So that's why you and I are both big fans of writing things down, right? Journaling, because then you're going to go, oh, well,
Yeah.
this is when they were worse. Okay, this is what I was doing.
Right.
Otherwise, you're not going to know what the attachment
Well,
is.
I have a prime example. I got some ladies right now going through the 21-day reset for sleep, and one of the things we talked about was wine or alcohol causing that to be worse at night. Like it will indirectly affect your sleep. It may put you to sleep, but then you're not going to sleep well all night. You're going
Right.
to have spikes and crashes. I actually had one of the participants say, "Not good," was a bad thing. They had wine or alcohol, and they didn't sleep, caused hot flashes at night, and they're like,
Sure.
"You're right."
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, you can try it and pull it out and then put it back in. And that's what we talk about introducing things. But you will know pretty quickly whether it's a culprit or not.
Oh, it's definitely a
simple.
culprit. We've mentioned this before, that some people are going to go, oh, whatever, I'm just going to deal with it.
Right.
But if
Monica?
you're frustrated, I have. Yep. I'm not going to stop my red wine. You're not going to get me away from it. No, but I don't. I actually did white, and to me, there's more sugars. And I was like, but the red wine seems to affect it more.
Yeah,
But it is
does.
trying to maybe have it earlier in the night.
Right.
That's the other thing is I'm looking at timing.
Right, timing.
We talked about household cleaners, pesticides on produce.
Yeah, so EWG's got a great, again, that EWG.org that Gabriel's probably put in the comments by now.
Yep.
That's a great resource. They have the Clean 15 Dirty Dozen on there. So the Clean 15 are produce that you can buy, fruits and vegetables that you can buy that you don't have to buy organic. Okay,
right.
You can still wash them, but they don't need to be bought organically. The Dirty Dozen are the ones that you should always buy organic.
Yes.
Because they're going to be loaded with stuff that you don't want.
I'm glad we brought this up. And I did, by the way, if you want to do a future show with me, somebody asked last week, hey, could Monica do a show on what is really good in foods and what is bad and the things that are being masked as this is good for us, right? And this is the whole thing about reading labels we talked about last week.
Yeah.
So if you're just tuning in, Jenny Gabriel, JG Optimal Wellness, if you've not seen her on the show before. Okay, Julie said perfume gives her a headache. That's how a lot of you know Michelle. Michelle's mom, she's always like, oh, why do people have to wear perfume, whatever. And that's how my aunt used to be.
Yeah.
No perfumes, no
Yep.
candles.
Yep.
What is it in their body that causes that?
Okay, so to me, that's telling me there's probably a pathway that's blocked. And so through one of the functional tests I do, which is a functional questionnaire called the Nutritional Assessment Questionnaire, those are questions that are asked in there. And that will identify to me like areas that we need to probably work on trying to clear.
So if you got that clear, then they'd be able to enjoy candles and stuff and perfume,
Potentially,
maybe?
yes, if we can get to the root cause of it. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Julie, there you go. Linda, I love my well water. We still have a softener and a filter system.
Okay, good. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
Pickled beets, yummy.
Ah.
Okay, we did not talk about skincare and makeup.
Oh, yes. Okay.
What's in that?
So, there can be a lot of yuck in there, right? And
We're putting it on our faces.
We are. And some of the products that are fairly good are actually is like Anne Marie. Purity Woods is another really good one. Oceana. I think that's how you say it. OSEA.
OSEA?
Yeah.
OCA?
OCA. Maybe that's how you say it. It's another one that's really good too. Elf is pretty good. Any
that's
kind
good.
of mineral based, but here's what I see too with this. And if I get a HTMA test that has like higher barium levels or something like that on it, I typically it's like really high. It's like, okay, they're using a mineral powder, which isn't bad. That doesn't mean you stop using it. It just tells me that you're using makeup that has that. So again, sometimes in testing, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. And this would be in that circumstance with the mineral powders.
Right.
But, Elf is really, one of them that's
good to hear.
up there too. It's pretty decent. But if you want a really great list, go to ewg.org. They'll
love
list
this.
out.
I'm going to be on this website regularly.
Yeah, it's like the top facial products that are good.
I'm going to get addicted to this website, I think. But it's also going to make me go, oh my gosh, let's just clear the whole house out.
Yeah, right. So yeah, just take it with a grain of salt. Just, again, it's like don't overwhelm yourself with this because it can be. We cannot live in bubbles,
Right.
people. We just can't. And
Unless you're Michael Jackson.
Yeah, well, true. But here, we're going to start moonwalking here. Okay, so anyway, back to the story.
I just love to make her laugh.
Just pick and choose.
Yes.
Pick one thing, something small, change it, and then if it works
Watch how your life has gotten
yeah,
better, right?
and then choose something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, we're not trying to scare you or be alarmist
No, but you need to be
whatsoever.
educated
Yes,
about it.
Yes.
Just be aware that these things could be causing disruption in the hormones, and they do. It's not just about hormones alone. Menopause is not about hormones alone.
Yes.
It's also about what the dirty truth about toxins being.
That's what
a
this show is
proponent
about
of
today. The dirty truth. Again, what we're putting inside of our body
Mm-hmm.
and on our body and what's in our environment. Julie said lemongrass spa is all natural.
Oh, yes,
Okay.
that's right. Julie,
Okay.
I think you've mentioned that one before. I need to check that one out.
Good.
Yeah.
So again, we're talking about if you have poor sleep, belly fat, that's the cortisol overload, sluggish liver, you've got hot flashes and fatigue maybe. You're bloating, your mood swings coming from a gut imbalance. So
Yes.
looking at all of
Yes.
these things. So signs that we're carrying a heavy toxic load.
Oh, yeah.
So these are the things to be looking for, ladies.
Yeah.
Stubborn belly weight,
Right.
waking unrefreshed,
Yeah.
brain fog, headaches. I mean, literally, as we're running through these, are you
Yep.
going, check, that's me, that's me?
Yep.
Skin breakouts and rashes.
Yes.
So you might have those happening and not realize that it's tied to all of this.
It's the detox pathways, guys.
And then, of course, the night sweats and the increased hot flashes. Because I was just going to ask earlier, how would we know that we are maybe having these things? It'd be these little levels of things that are starting to happen. So if you have your breakouts, your rashes, you've got, what the heck?
That's
Why
the
am I
skin.
gaining weight?
Yeah.
What about if, you do that hair tissue mineral analysis?
Yeah.
So if someone's starting to have their hair loss as well, is that another issue? Yes?
Sometimes I see with women too, that could be a thyroid thing.
Okay.
Okay, there could be a mineral imbalancing for sure. There could also be testosterone levels can cause that as well.
Right.
So
Well, and
there's kind of a multiplex around that.
Again, if you have any comments or questions, you've got some good ones coming in so far. Let's see. Same here, Monica. Can't wait to get in that website. I probably won't get anything done today.
Just don't overwhelm yourself. But yes, it's
Yes,
great.
that's
And if
true.
you sign up for their newsletter, you'll get I get an email from them every day about something new or making me aware of something else. So yeah, it's a great website. Great.
EWG.org. And Gabriel did put it in the comments for
Yeah.
you already. So we mentioned this earlier, but let's go a little bit more in depth here because some people, when they say, all right, these are problems that I'm experiencing, and they just want a quick fix. Everybody in life wants a quick fix.
Yep.
No. I mean, as a trainer, I'm going to tell you it's not a quick fix. You didn't put the 100 pounds on overnight, so we're not going to get it off in a quick fix.
Right.
And if you try to do that, it's going to come back and then some.
Right.
It's the same thing with these. As she's saying, pull one out at a time, figure out what's your trigger, because
Yeah.
she's all about the root cause. So the quick fix, the detox teas or the crash cleanses,
Yeah. No.
No.
Don't do that.
sleeping pills or hormone-only approach. So, right, because a lot of people are like, okay, I just got to do my hormones.
Right, but that's just one part of it. And I think you and I have talked a lot about that. And, you know, I'm friends with several NPs that actually do the hormone testing and stuff like that. And it is just one part of it. You have to plug in the lifestyle, which I would categorize this toxin load in lifestyle. This is things that we can change in our lifestyle, but there's also the nutritional component. Again, that's nutrition, but there's also the toxic load because what's being put on our foods and stuff and being more cognizant. Go to the farmer's market.
Yes.
You know?
Natural. It's
Yeah.
also, you mentioned earlier about people saying, oh my gosh, now I have to buy all organic. No, that's
No.
not true. And in
Clean
fact,
15, dirty dozen.
I used to hear this. Do you agree with, like, let's think about a banana. So, right, so there's a peel on it.
Right.
So we don't need to buy organic
Right.
in that, right?
Right.
So if we have fruits, though, does it do the same thing if we're buying organic or we buy the spray that we spray onto?
I think that's a next step.
Okay.
Like if you're buying, like the Fit spray or the Thieves spray or any kind of wash on it, that's going to help remove that toxicity. If you can't afford going organic with something
I
and
used to
you
spray
know
like
it's
crazy.
on the dirty list, then just then buy the spray to
Okay,
help
good.
or the wash
Yeah.
to wash it.
Okay, good. That's what I
Yeah.
wanted to know. I wanted to know if that was like, am I buying this and it's really not doing anything? It is.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other one, which we really just mentioned before, was some people saying, whatever, I'm just going to ignore it or I'm going to push through it. Why? You're fighting against yourself.
Right.
Yes.
You are.
What actually works then?
Well, again, all these
Support
things-
your detox organs.
Yeah. Support your detox organs. I mean, that's going to be primary with toxicity. Okay, when someone comes to me and they're showing symptoms of clogged toxicity, like liver or skin or any of those things, that's going to be the first place we're gonna start first with the gut. Because typically the gut's going to be off. It's not going to be digesting or breaking down the nutrients anyway because it's so overwhelmed with all of the toxicity coming in
Right.
and it looks like a foreign invader to them. So then the body doesn't respond and then we have leaky gut, But I think the first steps it's going to be detoxing liver, gut, skin. Throw in some infrared sauna in here. Let's get working on gut, the digestive process. Let's start giving some liver love. Dandelion leaves and milk thistle are really good for that. But, again, talk to somebody before you just start doing like any of the supplemental things because you may have medications that contraindicate with that. And I don't want someone just trying, well, Jenny said, but I'm on, and that's not a good thing.
Oh, we always say check with your physician.
Yeah, check with your physician. Balancing blood sugar is a big deal because like I said, we talked about insulin resistance and how this is causing more insulin resistance to happen and making it worse. And we're already in what I would call a insulin resistant society. Anyway, so, working on that blood sugar handling, mineral balancing, making sure you're getting in a good electrolyte every day would be good.
In the business that you have been in, and how many years now?
30.
30, right? So when I started the whole show talking about, I don't know if you heard me say that, but from, autistic children to ADD to ADHD and how we see the rise in this. And if we can't have this obvious alarm going off of what is in our food and how things have gotten worse for you and for your children, this should be a massive wake-up call. Oh, I just got to chill. This should be a massive wake-up call for you. Do you see the same thing from an insulin resistance standpoint if you looked at statistics from 10 to 20 to 30 years ago?
Yeah, it's much worse.
Yeah, see?
It's much worse. And menopausal women are in that category, and men too. So if you're packing weight in the belly, that's telling me you got some insulin resistance going on.
Well, and again, these are the things. So for all of you that are tuning in late and you're like, okay, well then I'm going to start to try to pull some things up and oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed. This is why she does these free assessment calls. This is why she works. I mean, this is her passion, folks. So when we talk about let somebody's wheelhouse stand out and not have you be overwhelmed with, I don't know what I'm doing. Again, we've got a QR code that we have put on the screen before. We'll put it up here for you again. Scan the QR code for a free assessment call. Walk through that. I know some of you have done it already and your lives are changing. I mean, that's what you want, right? I want to get you to be the best version of yourself. Free assessment calls, scan to book that, or reach out to Jenny, follow her on social media, go to the website again, jgoptimalwellness.com. Let her help you because again, we're talking about what actually works for you and how your life can start changing. So you're balancing the blood sugar, your minerals, your stress.
Stress and sleep management are huge. Oh my gosh.
Erase stress. And people are like, yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Or I love when someone tells me, well, I don't have any stress.
And and your assessment with them, you're like, yes, you do.
Yeah,
You've just have been doing it for so long that you didn't realize that you're in stress mode, fight or flight mode. Clean daily swap. So glass instead of the plastic bottles. This is our recap again. Natural skincare and cleaning products. More whole foods. Go to the farmers markets. Fewer processed. Oh, cruciferous vegetables, by the way. So broccoli, cabbage, kale. Have
those
more
are
of that.
Great for detoxing. And I love going to Lake St. Louis to their farmers market. They've got a great. I cannot think of their name offhand, and I hate that. But they have microgreens. They have all kinds of lettuce and greens. But microgreens are really a great way to get those sulfuric foods in, especially if you're someone that can't eat, broccoli or cauliflower or something like that, or you don't like it. This is a great way to do it. You can put the microgreens on your salad, just mix them in a little bit. It doesn't take a lot, but they're great with the sulfur aspect of things and helping kind of detox some of that.
I'm going to give a shout out to Tiffany and Larry Winkler, who own Circle 6 down in Defiance.
Oh, yes.
They've got their farm, but they also, if you go in there, besides buying the incredible meat that they have, they work with a lot of local purveyors. I'm trying to think, is it Lucky Dog Farms?
Yep.
They have
I
Sprouts.
think that's right.
I have literally
Sprouts.
changed.
Lucky Dog Farms is really
in Wentzville,
good too.
right?
Yes, they are really good.
They're incredible. And so I bought them one time and all these different sprouts. And I'm not talking about the sprouts you get at a grocery store. No, these are incredible.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, let me try this out. Just put a little olive oil on them. That's my salad.
Yeah.
I'm in love with that.
Yes.
So again, if you haven't done this, we were just giving you some ideas of things to try. So imagine this. Hormones back in balance. This is your life that's coming for you. Hot flashes less intense. Your clear mind, steady energy, feeling lighter and more in control of your life. So we talked also about those daily swaps that you can make. Sweat. Exercise or sauna. So you're a big fan of sauna. What about?
I am infrared, big fan.
Infrared. So I was just going to say. So that if you look at saunas, you would be more apt to say go into that.
I would prefer an infrared.
Okay.
Over one that's got the steam.
Somebody wanted me to ask you. I'm glad that we just thought about this. They want to know about like if they go into gyms as opposed to maybe going to a doctor. Are you a proponent? And do you think that they're actually good? Red light therapy that some of the gyms offer. Do you think those are beneficial? You do. Okay. So go in them. If it's part of your membership, use it.
Absolutely. Absolutely use it. If you're getting that as part of your membership, heck yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Okay. So our final takeaway: toxins don't cause menopause, but they make it harder.
Yeah, they do. They're going to make the journey a lot harder. If we don't try to remove some of them, it puts less stress on the body and less stress on the hormones.
And again, stress is one of the biggest culprits of so many diseases in our world. We talked about how you have to own this. You have the power to reduce your load. But you got to make those changes.
Right.
Incremental changes.
Right.
Small daily changes. Huge midlife wins.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
See how we're changing lives?
Yeah.
That's
Every
what this
day.
is all about. Again, so for those of you that are new to the show and you haven't had a chance to see Jenny on before, we always want to, I know, right, Michelle? She said this show could go on for a few more hours.
Yes, it could.
Well, but that is why she comes back. So if you don't know that, Jenny comes in with us every other Monday. Now, let's look at October, though. So I know I'm leaving to go celebrate my anniversary.
Yeah.
And so are you back on with us on October 13th
I think
instead
that's
of the
correct.
6th? Okay.
Yeah, that's
so what we
correct.
can have you do is start thinking about some questions that you would like for Jenny to cover, some aha moments for you. In fact, what I really would love, excuse me, is the people who have worked with her.
Yeah.
Let us know how your life has changed.
Yeah.
Because it's those true testimonials of, hey, I started implementing these things that Jenny wanted us to implement, and here's how my life has changed. So you can ask us some questions, and we will put those in a future show. I will tell you coming up on October 13th, it's menopause and the rushing woman syndrome.
Oh, yes. This is going to hit home. I promise you all it's going to hit home.
So that is what the October 13th show will be about. But we can also include anything else that you would like for us to do as well. I love to see the changes that you all make and how your life gets better. Okay, so which devotional are you feeling today? Shame, anger, depression, fear and anxiety, or overeating?
Overeating.
We haven't done that one in a while. Okay, overeating, and we'll tell you what's on tap tomorrow, and we're going to tell you about some mobile Monicas that we're scheduling for you as well that I'd love to see you. Okay, so don't go anywhere. By the end of this, I want 100% raising your hands. I'm here to empower you because you all have intrinsic value. I don't care if someone has told you that you don't. Today, we are here to make you believe in yourself.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Bonacorsi, and I'm the president and founder of J Bloom. And I chose Monica Adams to be our keynote speaker because of the positivity that she illuminates whenever she speaks. She's an amazing influence and has so much impact on these women that they are going to leave changed.
It's a constant education. Never stop being the leader. If you are given the opportunity to be, and I hate the word boss, by the way, don't we like leader more? Have you all seen that image of a boss shouting behind their team and then the leader out in the trenches? And I know there's a lot of people that are thrown into your paths, and there are people who try to squash your dreams. It could be your partner, it could be your parents, your children, a boss that you've had, but you cannot, from this day forward, I'm going to ask you to not give them power any longer. So we think it, we write it, we hear it. Think right here. Make connections today. Then pave that way. You now have the awareness. So how do you pave that path?
Your message, like at the end, you can be anything, but before that, be kind.
Yep.
My husband's a pastor, and that every one of his sermons, that's always within it. That be kind.
Yep.
You have to be kind.
It is.
Oh, you're fine.
Look at this. So there's an employee out there who still thinks of you because you were kind to them. Never stop being that leader. By the way, I want to be remembered for this phrase when I'm no longer on this earth. The greatest rewards in life come from the most uncomfortable walk. God meant for me to talk to you. Oh, it's okay. You, honey, have a lot of value. And someone's told you that you don't. And I was meant to be in your life today. I've always said, I have chills. Do we all have chills? God, I say, if you can have me change one person's life, then I have done your job. I'm hoping it's all of you. But see, she's not okay for whatever reason. I don't know your story, but I'm going to tell you they're wrong. And all these women believe in you.
To hire Monica Adams for your next event, email info@therealmonicaadams.com.
Well, welcome back. What a powerful show. And again, if you are just tuning in, and I know a lot of you pop on and off if you have to head off to work, this is one of those shows that you're going to want to come back to and then share. Do us a favor, just share. I'd love to see the shares going on with your followers because, again, it's giving them aha moments. And it's the greatest thing that you can do besides being kind. It's your opportunity to share with your loved ones of things that can help them. You know, today it really did feel like we needed to do 100 Days to Freedom from overeating because it's where we have to own it ourselves. These books, by the way, from Stephen Arterburn. So this one's called Life Abundant. We're on day 36 of 100 days. The thief's purpose is to steal and kill and destroy. My purpose is to give them a rich and satisfying life. That's from John 10, verse 10. Jesus promises to give us abundant life, a life that is full of everything we could ever think of and ask for or imagine. So in the Garden of Eden, which this is really eerie because that is exactly what this last weekend service was about, Adam and Eve had an abundant life and walked with God. Unfortunately, Adam and Eve believed the lie of an enemy and lost their home in the garden and began a life of hardship. Like Adam and Eve, we too have an enemy who wants to steal from us our chance of an abundant life, and he'll use any way that he can. Adam and Eve went into hiding because they had disobeyed God, just like God does when we disobey. God called out to Adam, "Where are you?" Genesis 3, verse 9. Fear and shame caused both Adam and Eve to feel separated from God, but God continued to pursue them. He wanted them to know, as he wants us to know, that because of Jesus, we are loved, we're known, we're accepted, we're valued, we're redeemed, and set apart for purpose. God is love. He always loves us, although when we do something wrong, we may feel unworthy of that love, but we need to realize that God's love is greater than our mistakes. Knowing his voice and following it is vital to our having a life of abundance in every way, spiritually, mentally, physically. His love will set us free. He has conquered death and the grave. Nothing can separate us from his love. So when we feel like hiding, when we have had a relapse from our food regimen, remember that we have already been forgiven, and that because of Jesus and his sacrifice for us, we can be reunited with God and experience full freedom and forgiveness and abundant love. So I'm talking to all of you that feel like you have to hide the food. You've got your drawers and you're hoarding that food. He sees you. He's not belittling you. He's not degrading, right? He is saying, I already forgive you. Let's forgive yourself, right? Have some grace. So Sheila Walsh says, if guilt tells us that we've done something wrong, then shame tells us that we are something wrong. So many people feel isolated, not good enough, defined by the labels they wear rather than the identity they have in Christ. The love of Christ tells us that we are accepted and that we do belong. Dwight Moody said, God never made a promise that was too good to be true. And Franklin Graham said, no matter what storm you face, you need to know God loves you and he has not abandoned you. So here's your prayer for today, folks. Dear Jesus, thank you for your love, and that because of you, I'm redeemed, I'm loved, and can walk in the forgiveness that you give so freely. I pray that I will come out of my hiding places and not sit under the weight of shame any longer. I thank you for the abundant life you promise to those who believe and follow you. And I'm going to tell you what, the followers are more and more and more, and the churches are more and more packed, and people opening their Bibles for the first time in a decade or ever. Yeah. Start at Genesis 1:1.
This almost gives me chills.
You know what? I was at church at the Crossing this past weekend, and Pastor Greg is so funny. He was like, okay, for those of you that are lost and you're like, I don't even know, you're talking about all these verses. So start at Genesis 1:1. In fact, if you go to the table of contents, you're almost there. It's the funniest comment. Just start, right? Yeah. No one's going to say, what? I mean, how do you not know this? Because it's your time to just now get started. And that's the greatest place, right? And then let's see how open spiritual world can be for you. All right, so we mentioned some really fun things coming up. I want you to come to this. The Wine Cafe. We're going to have to deal with the red wine and hot flash. Yeah. The Wine Cafe. Tiara, I love you. I cannot wait to see you on October 29th, 6 p.m. We're going to be there with Tiara and her wonderful husband. In fact, she's so lucky. The entire family is there together, and they're all smiles. They have great food. They have half-off bottles of wine. And so for that night, she's actually going to stay open later. She's like, I always look for an opportunity to be able to do so, because normally they close at 7. But we're going to do our show from 6 to 7. And then you can hang into the night with your family, your friends. Hopefully the weather is beautiful because they have gorgeous outside space and inside. So looking forward to that as for so many reasons. It's a really cool place right there on Main Street in St. Charles if you've never been before. Yeah. So we'll be there on October 29th. I will tell you that we are going to also have a mobile Monica coming up at Conjetta Designs, which I cannot wait for. I'm going to do a deep dive into our brand. And so for everybody who has a brand out there, she's the one that can really elevate it and take it to a whole nother level. So we're going to talk with her coming up in a couple of weeks in October. And then we'll be featuring Principia School, which I don't know, this entire time that I've lived here, they're in Town and Country. Okay. Do you know about Principia? I wish I could go back to school. I cannot believe what these, seriously, I can't believe what these
Pretty
kids are
awesome.
able to do. Oh, it's amazing. Truly amazing. I mean, you're seeing some of the kids there, but yeah, you're talking about organic and natural.
Yeah.
These kids work with chickens and farming and all. I got chills. It's like, what? At a school? Yes, they do some really amazing things. So Principia, cannot wait to sit down. We're going to actually be interviewing Terry Grigsby, who is the head of school, and then we're going to go on campus. And I'm super excited for this. So yeah, so by the way, when we talk about Mobile Monica, it literally can be anything. We've done farmers markets, we've done festivals, boutiques, fashion, obviously restaurants, coffee houses. You dream it, and we'll come and bring the show to you. Shoot me an email, by the way, for that info at therealmonicaadams.com. Tomorrow, you're going to love Katie Ferguson, the Firefight Her workout, right?
Awesome.
This is all to benefit the Take Part Foundation. And we just had the wonderful Maria Granados on the show. And what a powerful woman that is. If you didn't see that show, go back and watch that. But at the same time, it's her foundation benefiting from the workouts. People are wanting this. They want more health in their lives. She had an 8 o'clock maxed out, 9 o'clock maxed out. So they offered a 10 a.m. class. That's close to maxing out. I'm thinking if it gets maxed out, then she might even offer an 11 a.m. I love it.
Great.
Move the body.
That's awesome.
Concentrate on taking care of your mind and your spirit, and then you're balanced.
Yeah.
High five, my friend. Great show as always. Remember to follow her again, jgoptimalwellness.com or on social media, and reach out. Again, let her help you. For all of you, we always say the same thing. Really, truly believe in yourself. Dream it. Dream big, by the way. You can become whatever you want to become in life. The greatest thing you can be, though, is kind. God bless you all.